A car mechanic scammed the world's richest investors out of $1 billion US. That's nearly 85 billion rupees. He didn't rob a bank or run away with a loan. He did this openly in a country like America by selling something everyone wants: solar panels. He even managed to trap an investor as shrewd as Warren Buffett in his web. How did an ordinary mechanic pull off such an audacious scheme? And how did his empire of lies finally come crashing down?
Hello and welcome. If you're new here, welcome to Amazing 5. Today we're gonna discuss again some amazing facts.
Our story begins in California with a 36-year-old mechanic named Jeff Carpoff. He and his wife started a small car repair business to make a living for their family. But soon, their business shut down, leaving them struggling to even feed their children. Jeff, however, had a fire in his belly. He dreamt of becoming rich. He tried his hand at various things, but failure seemed to follow him everywhere. As his financial situation worsened, he even started selling drugs just to make ends meet. Drowning in debt, Jeff knew he needed a legitimate way out. Finally, he landed a job as a solar panel salesman. Day in and day out, he met with people, trying to sell them on the promise of clean energy. Through these conversations, he discovered a common fear. People were interested in solar panels, but were worried about them getting stolen. This fear sparked a revolutionary idea in Jeff's mind. What if the solar panels weren't fixed to a roof? What if they were mobile? He envisioned a trailer-mounted solar generator. You could use it during the day and park it in a secure location at night. The plan was brilliant, but Jeff, who wasn't highly educated, lacked the technical knowledge to bring it to life. So, he reached out to his brother-in-law, also a mechanic. Together, they worked tirelessly and built their first mobile solar generator. To turn this invention into a business, he partnered with a software professional named Watson, who had been a customer at his old repair shop. They launched a company called DC Solar. Instead of targeting individual homeowners, they aimed high, focusing on big clients like Hollywood movie sets, which use noisy, polluting diesel generators. Their quiet, clean solar generators were the perfect alternative. Their big break came when the US Congress passed a law that tripled the tax credit for investing in solar technology. This meant any business that bought solar panels would get 30% of their investment back from the government. Jeff saw his golden opportunity. He created an irresistible offer. Companies only had to pay a 30% advance to get a DC solar generator. The government would then give them that 30% back as a tax credit, making the initial investment virtually free. The remaining 70% could be paid in easy installments, covered by the money they saved on electricity bills. It seemed like a flawless win-win situation. And with that, the scam began. Orders poured in. Big names, including Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, invested hundreds of millions of dollars. Jeff was no longer a struggling mechanic. He was a celebrated green energy tycoon. He lived a life of unimaginable luxury, buying dozens of mansions, over 150 luxury cars, and even a private jet. But behind this shiny facade was a dark secret. There was no massive fleet of solar generators. Out of the 17,000 generators that were supposedly sold, only about 6,000 actually existed. Jeff was running a classic Ponzi scheme. He used the money from new investors to pay returns to the old ones. To create the illusion of a bustling business, he would have his employees move the same few generators from one location to another. He even used fake GPS trackers to show investors that thousands of their units were active across the country when, in reality, they were just sitting empty in a warehouse. The house of cards began to tremble. when customers' generators started failing. Complaints piled up, but Jeff's focus was on his lavish lifestyle, not his business. The final blow came when a brave employee within DC Solar exposed the entire operation. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the FBI swooped in, and the billion-dollar scam was laid bare. On November 9, 2021, Jeff Carpoff, the mechanic who had fooled the world's sharpest financial minds, was sentenced to 30 years in prison. His story serves as a chilling reminder of how a simple dream of wealth, when twisted by greed and deceit, can create one of the most elaborate and devastating frauds in modern history.